Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My learners, today I want us to solve questions on derivatives. Most questions tested in KCSE. Now, as you can see on our board today, we are having 3 questions, 1, 2, 3. These questions are being tested in KCSE in different years. I want us to start one by one, then discuss. For our first question, it might read, 2 tall garden pipelines were crossed, and of the resulting offspring, 750 were tall and 250 were short. Using letter T to present the dominant gene, determine the genotype of the offspring. As you can see, we have T, letter T as our dominant gene. As our dominant gene. Plus, a dominant gene is a gene which expresses its phenotypes by influencing the characteristics of the organism even in the presence of the identical allele. For instance, this genotype T, it is an allele photolet, but during the phenotypic expression, that is the external expression of the organism, we have like a genotype like this. In this genotype, we have 2 alleles. That is the allele for tallness as well as the allele for shortness. But again, the allele for tallness is capital T, while the allele for shortness is small t. Therefore, we say that this allele T is dominant over allele for shortness, or rather the dwarf. And therefore, in the phenotypes, or rather the external expression of this organism, we are going to find out that this organism will be tall, despite the presence of this short allele. That is what we call the dominant gene. Therefore, this allele sometimes is referred to as the recessive gene. Why? Because this recessive gene can only express its phenotype, or rather its external expression, in the presence of another identical allele. For instance, this one, which is our now the allele for shortness, or rather the recessive gene, will be able to express its phenotypes in this way, without this allele having another identical allele organism. The allele, this is now the dominant gene, and this is the recessive gene. And in a genotype, when we have a dominant gene and a recessive gene, the dominant gene expresses phenotypically over the recessive gene. And therefore, let's go back to our question now. That was just an explanation of the dominant gene and the recessive gene as well. Now, in our question, you can see that 750 organisms were told. 750 tall, 250 and 250 short. Now, if we can now look at it, total number of plants, total number of garden plants, total number of garden plants is equal to 750 tall plus 250 short, which is 1000. Now let's look at the ratio. How are they in a ratio? For instance, this one, we're going to have tall, the ratio. It will be 750 over 1000, which is 3 out of 4. We also have short. That is 250 out of 9, which is equal to a quarter. Now, class, we can now tell the genotype ratio based on the fractions we have. We have 3 over 4 of the total garden pipelines as tall, and a quarter of them as short. And therefore, we now start applying the knowledge of test force. The knowledge of test force. Test force. And the test force class, it is a cross or a test that is used to determine an unknown genotype. In this case, the parental genotype are unknown. But what we know is that we have the offspring, the phenotypic ratio of the offspring, which is the quarter of them are tall and a quarter of them are short. And therefore, what we know is that these genotypes, again, they must be heterozygous. What is a heterozygous? Heterozygous, these are alleles. At a given locus, they are not identical. What does that mean? For instance, at a given locus, we may have an allele for tallness and an allele for shortness, forming a genotype in that particular locus. Now, let's come to solution. The solution to this problem. Parental phenotype. Parental phenotype. Parental phenotype. Parental phenotype is tall. Let's say this is the male, this is the female. We also have parental genotype. Parental genotype. The parental genotype is TT times cross TT gametes. That is T goes up, T up, T goes up, another T. Now let's look now the fertilization of these gametes. This one is going to fuse with this one. This one not that place. This one is going to fuse with this one. This one is going to fuse with this one. And the last one is one like that. Now let's navigate. This one is TT. No, this is TT. This one T. This one TT. Last one is TT. Now phenotypic ratio. Let's look at the phenotypic ratio. Last phenotypic ratio. Phenotypic ratio, we have very tall, one short. Genotypic ratio. You have one TT, colon, two TT, then one TT. This is now our genotypic ratio, and this is now our phenotypic ratio. Now let's make a very quick review of how this question will solve. This question, the thing that you need to understand as a class is a dominant gene. What's a dominant gene? A dominant gene is a gene which influences the phenotype of an organism, even in the presence of an identical allele. For instance, this is now the genotype of this particular organism. What we know is that we have an allele for tallness as well as an allele for shortness. But the allele for tallness is dominant over the allele for shortness, meaning this allele, which is tallness, which is dominant over the allele for shortness, will express, the external expression will be made by this dominant gene over this recessive gene. Therefore, you see we have gene, we also have allele. Gene is the basic unit of inheritance for a given characteristic. Gene, it is the basic unit of inheritance for a given characteristic. Allele, it is an identical form of a gene of the same gene, identical form of the same gene. Each particular characteristics. For instance, we have the gene, for example, for height. We have also gene for blood group. And so we have an allele for shortness, for tallness, sometimes given as capital T, allele for shortness, some given as T. Now, if we see gene is the basic unit of inheritance for a given characteristic. For example, a characteristic like height, blood, but an allele, an identical form of the same gene, each determining a particular characteristic. For instance, characteristic tallness, capital T, characteristic shortness designated as small t. Now, again, in solving the question, after understanding those things, you are given 50 of the garden plant as tall, and 250 of the same garden plant as short. Now, you get the total number of garden plant by addition of the tall and short. You're going to get 1000. Now, divide this by 1,000, isn't it? Now we're going to get 3/4, and we also get here a quarter. Now we have gotten that 3/4 of the total garden plants are tall, and a quarter of the garden plants are short. Now you want to determine the genotype of the parent. Is now an unknown. We don't know the genotype of the parent, but we have the ratio, the phenotypic ratio of offspring. Now we apply the knowledge of the test course, where we make a cross of an unknown genotype, so that we can get to the bottom line, or rather the offspring. A test cross is a cross or a test that is used to determine an unknown genotype. Now, solution. Parental phenotype, tall, this male, female. Parental genotype, heterozygous tallness, gametes, TT. Now, this is called the fertilization. Fertilization, and these are the offsprings, and these are the genotypic ratio, and we got the genotypic ratio of the offspring. This is now the genotype ratio of the offspring. Now, this question is done again. Now let's come to this question. Two dogs with black fur mated and produced an offspring with both black and brown fur. Given letter N present the gene for black fur determine the phenotype ratio of the offspring. Now, let's look at this. Now, you are given letter N representing gene for black. Gene for black. And what you know is that letter N is the dominant gene for black, and you also have the recessive gene for this. Now, in such a scenario like this, what we need to know is that the offsprings were having black and brown. And in this process, it's very simple. If it's not sex mate, for example, we have a cross like this, for example, this one, for a case like this, we can have a cross like between NN times NN. Now together, we rule out this one. But here, we are having this one black. When we cross homozygous black fermented dogs, homozygous black fermented dogs, all the offspring will be black. But our final cause will have some brown. This one will root out. Again, let's go to a scenario where we have like this one. Dominant recessive times dominant recessive. This one we may get brown. Okay. What's another scenario? By crossing homozygous recessive. These are homozygous recessive. Now these two being homozygous recessive, we can't get it because all the offsprings here, all brown, all black. And this means black and brown. Therefore, the solution lies here, and these are our genotypes that we're going to use in our solution. Because these are the only three possibilities in which we do. Number one is closely two dominant homozygous. This one is heterozygous dominant, heterozygous recessive dominant. Now let's go. We have the parental solution. Parental phenotype. Black. Parental phenotype. You have parental phenotype as N, thymus, N. Gametes. You have N as that one. Those are N as this one. Those are N as that one. Those are N as this one. Now fertilization. And another thing I want you to understand is during the fertilization, this one follows that one, this one goes to this one, followed by this one, and lastly like this. Let them follow like this, so that we will not be having confusion during the lines of fertilization. For a smoother line of fertilization class, what we do is more like that. Next one, third one, and the fourth one like that. Let's go now. The offspring. You have offspring like N. You have another offspring as N. You have another offspring as well N. Now lastly as N. This is fertilization. And these are the offsprings. Phenotypic ratio. Let's look at the phenotypic ratio. Phenotypic ratio here is all these are black. 3 black, 1 brown. Genotype ratio. Phenotype ratio. Now genotype ratio. The genotype ratio is 1 NN, 2 NN, lastly 1 NN. And this is now 1 homozygous, 2 heterozygous, and 1 homozygous recessive. These ones are homozygous dominant, heterozygous, and homozygous recessive. Lastly, the last question by learners. I want you to give this question and a test so that you do it, then you forward it, then you later on. This question looks like this. A form of dwarfism called achondroplasia is caused by a dominant GD located on body chromosomes. Sometimes students may confuse what is a chromosome. These are thread-like structures. Chromosomes, basically, they are thread-like structures which are found in the nucleus of every cell, and they contain molecules such as DNA. Individuals who are homozygous DD for the condition do not survive. If you get an offspring with DD, these offspring do not survive. Those who are of the homozygous recessive DD, these are called the homozygous recessive DD, are of normal height, while heterozygous DD are dwarfs. If two dwarfs are married, work out the likely survival chances of their offspring. you got up to this question number 3. Go sit down, use these methodologies and apply, solve this question. Now submit your solution through the comment section in my YouTube channel. Then you are going to see if you got the correct answer or you fail. Then again we are going to the second as a class. But I want to just make an emphasis on some very important terms here, which I was just using them anyhow before the lesson. Just want to familiarize you with some very basic terms in genetics. Some basic terms in genetics. You may have seen that during our lesson we were saying that the dominant gene, the recessive gene. Let's look at the first thing we have shown. The topic is called the genetics, and all of you know genetics is the study of inheritance and variation. And sometimes genetics can define as the study of passing on of characteristics from the parent to the offspring, because both during fusion of these gametes, they involve fusion of two different sexes. The sperm from the male and the ovum from the female. The 23 pair from the sperm fuses to the 23 pair from the female. Now there is a concept called the fusion, or rather the exchange of the nucleus, nuclear material. Therefore, there will be a variation. Now let's look at the following gene. Basic unit of inheritance. Basic unit. It is the basic unit of inheritance. It is the basic unit of inheritance for a given characteristics, e.g. height, blood group. That is now what is called the gene. You also have another term called allele. The allele and the gene, they go together, but slightly different. It is an alternative form. It is an alternative form of the same gene, each determining contrasting characteristics, contrasting characteristics. Class, you may wonder what the whole definition, but let me break it down. We say an allele, it is an alternative form of the same gene, each determining contrasting characteristics. Let's give an example. For example, e.g., there is an allele for tallness, designated as capital D, and an allele for shortness, designated as small t. You may find that both together, these two, they form the genotype of the organism. But again, they are different. This is an allele for tallness and this is an allele for shortness, or as that is called dwarfism. Now, again, the two determine contrasting. You know about contrasting. Two things which are opposite to one another. We have a short and a tall. Those are two contrasting. Black, white, contrasting. But when we say contrasting, these two should be opposite to one another, and an allele corresponds to such. The next thing we have is locus. This allele and this gene have a specific location in the chromosome. Now, the location of the gene and the allele on a chromosome is not to be found in the locus. It is the location. Of a gene or an allele on the chromosomes. We also have another term the phenotype of an organism, the phenotype. And when we say the phenotype class of an organism, it basically means the physical expression, or rather the external expression, which we can see, the phenotype of an organism, if in the presence of an alternative allele, e.g. Look at this genotype, TT. In this case, I want to write it, explain it. In this case, we have an allele, capital T, or another allele as small t. This one is for tallness, this one is for shortness. But you need to realize that organism without a genotype is a tall organism. Why? Because why can they express equally? Because this tall gene, this tall allele is dominant over this one, and therefore it expresses itself phenotypically in the presence of this alternative gene. We also have another term called the recessive gene. It is an allele that expresses phenotypically, that can express itself phenotypically in the presence of an identical allele, e.g., let's look at this scenario. We have an allele like this one, TT. Now, a genotype like that, we call it shortness, or an allele like this one is only able to express itself in the presence of another identical. What do you mean by identical? Identical are two things which are similar. They do not have any distinction or features. These now are recessive gene. Now, homozygous. There's another term called homozygous. Homozygous class, it is a condition where both alleles at a given locus are identical. It can be e.g., it can be homozygous dominant. That's, for example, I like using this term, this one, or homozygous recessive. Homozygous dominant, homozygous recessive. This one is called homozygous dominant, and this is called homozygous recessive. Alright, this one. Homozygous dominant, homozygous dominant, homozygous dominant, homozygous dominant, homozygous recessive. This is homozygous dominant, and this one is homozygous recessive. Next we have the heterozygous. Heterozygous is a condition where both alleles at a given locus are not identical. E.g., you have a scenario like this. In such a scenario, these two are not identical, they say heterozygous. Now what's the meaning? These ones are just saying what? We have the phenotype and the genotype. And cases like this ones are called the genotypes. And again, you have the phenotype. Phenotypes are these external expression called short. And these class are called filial 1 generation, or rather F1 generations. F1 generations. Thank you very much. This is just a review of some case questions and some terminologies pertaining to genetics. In our next class, inshallah ta'ala, we will be learning variations, codominance, complete dominance, hybrid, test cross, back cross, as we navigate them and dive into the chapter. Thank you very much, and I would like to see a very good and a huge turn up for the case and the question number 3 to be solved and submitted in the form of in the comment section. Thank you very much, and may the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us in this world as well as in the hereafter. Thank you very much.